Welcome to the Talk Like a Leader podcast, where we explore the mindset, skill set, and habit set of leadership communication. Using these tips, techniques, and tactics, you'll be able to talk like a leader to build better relationships and get more done. Your host is Guy Harris, who has more than 20 years of combined professional and military experience in consulting, coaching, and training in areas like team and interaction dynamics, communication strategies and tactics, as well as emotional intelligence. Take it away, Guy.
Hi, this is Guy Harris. Welcome to the Talk Like a Leader podcast. This week's episode is titled, If You Do Nothing But This, Your Communication Will Improve. And before I reveal what that one thing you can do is, I'm going to tell you a story. Recently, I was talking with a young lady. She's currently in her mid-20s. She is the younger of two sisters. The two sisters are separated by several years. The year difference is enough that the older sister, when they're in the range of 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, is older and more mature than the younger sister, and yet not really mature. So there's a maturity difference, and it's not a huge difference. So you can imagine as these two ladies, now both in their mid-20s, are younger, in the 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old range, they do what most 5, 6, 7, and 8-year-olds do. They're playing and maybe sometimes playing a little bit roughly and not necessarily understanding the implications of how they engage with each other. And the older sister would put the younger sister in, quote, a headlock, which because of her knowledge of what a headlock actually is and her limited physical skills actually turned into just choking the younger sister. It was, you can probably question whether a headlock was a good idea to start with, and then you couple that with the fact that it wasn't really a headlock, it was choking. Well, the younger sister would get a bit desperate, as you can imagine, as her older sister was choking her, and she would bite her older sister's forearm as a way to break the, quote, headlock. Then the older sister would cry to the parents, "She bit me," to which the parents would respond, "Stop biting your sister, you shouldn't bite your sister." The parents are thinking that the younger sister is a, quote, biter and responding to that input. Well, the younger sister is trying desperately to explain that she's being choked and that's why she bit, and she's just not communicating it in a way that's connecting with the parents. Well, this goes on for a while, several months actually, and one day, the younger sister finds the words to fully express exactly what's happening. And as she said, "I bit her because she was choking me," or words to that effect. She doesn't actually remember exactly what she said because it has been 20 plus years. She just remembers verbalizing it in a way that finally connected with the parent. In this case, it happened to be the mom who was in the room at the time. Connected with the mom in a way that the mom realized, wait a second, you're not biting because you're a biter, you're biting because you're being choked. To which the mom turned to the older sister and said, "You've been choking her this whole time, haven't you?" And the older sister looks mortified. Now, what's the point? See, if the parents in this case had done the one thing I'm talking about here, their communication would have improved a lot. Now, the good news is, nobody was really mortally hurt. Nobody was scarred. The kids that I know well, they're close to us, and the parents are close to us, have good relationships. Everything is fine. It was a moment of time, and it was interaction between young children that wasn't communicated well to the parents because of the pressures of parenting. And if you've been a parent, you know I can relate to this story and remember the pressures of when my kids were little and trying to keep track of everything and trying to make money and take care of the kids and take care of the house and all the different things, and just don't slow down enough to really listen. And that's the one thing I'm going to say that you can do, what the parents could have done in this case to really improve their communication, was slow down. So if you do nothing but this, which is slow down, your communication will improve. If you slow down to fully read the email, I've just recently had some email exchanges that took 5 or 6 back and forth emails. Unfortunately, it was a support ticket situation with a vendor that is shipping some materials to me. And I couldn't get them on the phone, so the only option I had was email. And it's a bit of a rant at this point because basically they didn't read what I told them. They were answering part of my email, not all of my email, and I kept having to respond and basically restate what I'd already said. And it was the fourth or fifth email by the time they realized, oh, wait, that's not what I thought it was. This is the other issue is what we have to deal with. To which I'm thinking, yeah, it's what I said the first email, if you had read the first email. Well, think about how much time is wasted when we have back and forth because we didn't slow down the first time. A mentor of mine once told me, if you can't do it right the first time, if you don't have time to do it right the first time, when will you have time to do it right? So slow down and read the emails. Another case, this is closer to the parenting example I gave to start the episode, is slow down to listen to the whole message. Remember that in any communication, especially in verbal communication, there is both a message and a meta message. The message is the words that are used, and the meta message is the whole context. It's the body language, it's the tone, it's the timing, it's the pacing of the message. It's all of the things that go with it that convey meaning. So slow down to listen to the whole message. And I guess I'd say if you can't slow down long enough to get the message the first time, are you going to have time later to slow down and get the message? If you can't take 5 or 10 or 15 seconds to understand it fully now, do you have 15 or 30 or 45 minutes to understand it because you didn't slow down to start with? Remember that people do things and make decisions with inaccurate information. We're going to have communications with people. We're going to make decisions. They're going to make decisions because we have incomplete and inaccurate information because we didn't slow down to get it right to start with. I would propose that if you'll slow down to start with, it'll actually go faster. Whereas I've said in other places, fast is slow, slow is fast. Meaning that if you go fast in interactions and communication with other people, it'll probably take you more time because you'll create misunderstandings and you'll have to resend messages and you'll have to ask more questions and you'll hurt feelings and all kinds of things can go wrong. If you slow down to fully read the email and process all of what's in the email, if you'll slow down to really listen to what the other person has to say, you can talk like a leader. This has been the Talk Like a Leader podcast. You can listen to this show every week wherever you get your podcast. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm Guy Harris, and thanks for listening.